The College Basketball Experience National Championship Reaction Show episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and available in 40 different states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100 times the amount of money you could enter in college hoops, UFL, NBA, MLB, golf, NHL, and much, much more. Sign up today using that promo code TCE SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Avo. Yes. Look, the premier arbitrage sports betting tool, Avo. Use their tool to bet both sides and lock in a profit. Access their platform for free at arbsversusodds.com. That's ARBS versus odds, ODDS.com. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. Plus, in honor of Masters Week, the Golf Gambling Podcast guys are giving away a tailor-made Spider X putter for free. Enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the College Basketball Experience National Championship Reaction Show. Wow. Okay. UConn pissed in my face for the first half and for the game, but I bought in at halftime on those Huskies. And the under still hit, so I guess maybe not the greatest of national championships, but let's talk about it. It was out the gate. It was a lot of fun. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, first off, get on over to youtube.com/the college experience. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Yes, my name is Colby Swig Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck, I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother.
Unbelievable. Look, Danny Hurley might be the most annoying human being on planet Earth, but he can coach the sport of fucking basketball. We will talk about that. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Big 12 College Experience. Subscribe. Host of the Ryan and Rush Show. Subscribe. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, aka Money Line Mac. How you doing, buddy?
Underdogs bad, unders good. That was the theme of our Final Four here.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. Thought it'd be a closer game, but sometimes I don't know where to place the more blame. Matt Painter or the Purdue guards. Matt Painter or the Purdue guards. But either way, I'm foolish. Like, I took the 7 points. Danny Hurley had a great game plan, I thought.
He did.
Just there's different levels to this, and I can't help but think. And I can't help but think about how great the transfer portal is, because to me, the two biggest players in the game tonight were Tristan Newton and Cam Spencer, and those guys are transfers. I mean, Purdue really should have gotten better guards for Zach Edey. I mean, I want to give a shout out. I'm drawing a blank right now, but anyway, I can't.
Jones.
Yeah, no, not on him. On Scott Rochelle, actually, Scott Rochelle from SGPN, who hosts the NBA gambling podcast and and tennis gambling podcast. You know, he's a huge college hoops guy, and you know, he's always brought that up, that they don't. You had Zach Edey, and you never went out and got better guards, and you got to the national championship, but god damn those guards. Look, I knew UConn had the edge on guards. I did not think they had that dominating of a performance. The guards for Purdue were fucking atrocious tonight. Some of that on Painter. To me, if I only have two, like one of the keys that I hit on, if Purdue wanted to win the game, which I didn't think they would win the game, but I thought their guards would have to hit threes. They shot 2 threes in the first half, 7 in the whole fucking game. Lance Jones shot 9 alone. They averaged 20 threes per game over the past 2 games. 7? I know some of that is Danny Hurley with good defense there. Let Edey get his. But still, I thought in the first half they had some open looks. They passed on them. And I mean, Foster, don't get me started on Foster Lawyer. That he got dominated tonight. Your thoughts on the game, buddy?
I'm going to push back on Scott's point. They were 64-10 in the last 2 years. Like I know that we're going to overreact, that they had a terrible night, just like they had a terrible night against Fairleigh Dickinson. But they did upgrade in the portal. They brought Lance Jones in. Last year they shot 33% from 3. They shot 40% tonight. I know everybody's like, oh, UConn was going to roll them. If you had Purdue shooting 1 for 6 from 3 tonight, I tip my cap. You need to go fucking bet on the lottery every single week, because there's no way in hell I was ever going to think that they were going to attempt 6 threes. I did not think Painter did a good job.
They shot 7,
Sorry,
I think.
1 of 6, 1 of 7, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I thought, honestly, I love Matt Painter. I did not think he did a good job tonight, in my opinion. I thought he should have got his guards going more early. And then the halftime adjustments, right? I thought the first play he drew up for one of his guys, Lawyer, was at the 6-minute mark of the second half. He ran him off a stagger. Like, I know you have Zach Edey, but you got to get your other guys involved to beat a team like UConn. But I'm not gonna come in and say that they weren't good enough to win the game. They were dog shit tonight. I don't think they were good enough. I don't think they could have won the game. I think you could play that 50 times. They lose every time. No. Well, what happened? Do you hear me? Yeah. You hear me? Connection issue. There we go. This fucking goddamn fucking computer.
I think your mic is now connected to the computer.
There you go.
No, I mean, I don't think they have any shot creators, and that played a huge role tonight. Besides Edey. Edey is your guy that, you know, can create a shot. No one else on this team can create a fucking shot. And it's amazing. I mean, to Matt Painter's credit, not tonight, but in general, to get to the national championship, it says something about, you know, your coaching but I just think you could play that game a bunch of times. I think UConn's going to win every time.
I disagree. They
got their ass whooped, dude.
But they got their ass whooped. But I would disagree that they would never win the game. They've beaten Gonzaga. They've beaten Tennessee twice. They beaten Marquette. They've beaten Duke. They've beaten everybody in the non-con. They had a bad night. They had a terrible night. But UConn's a back-to-back champion. They are not Gonzaga. They are not Duke. They are. But to say that they could never beat them, I disagree with that. But I don't know. I mean, we got to agree to disagree. UConn didn't go 40-0. Like, they don't have any fucking shot creators, though, dude. Like, at least like Creighton has shot creators. Seton Hall, who beat him, has some shot creators. Like, they didn't have any shot creators, like, besides Edey. I mean, yes, I do agree with you. I thought they had a bad night. I thought they had success going to Kaufman early, and they kind of got away from that, and they just didn't make shots. And UConn got away from them, and then Edey wore down, got in foul trouble.
Purdue has plenty of length at the guard positions, by the way. I don't know why that comment's getting displayed.
Length or athleticism? To me, they don't have athleticism. Like they don't have guys.
They have length.
Okay, but that doesn't mean athleticism.
They went out and got athleticism. Lance Jones. Colby, your camera's acting up again.
Hang tight. Hang tight. We're gonna call an audible here. Audible.
340.
Audible right here. Boom. Back to Old Faithful.
I think I fucked it up.
You might have, but it's okay. Yeah, I mean, they just don't. They couldn't create shots. They couldn't create shots. Like they're trying to. They're getting block shot. They're getting blocked. I know Gillis was trying. It's just. I don't know. I don't think they could have ever beaten this team. I think UConn is that good. And it only reinforces it tonight because if anything, like I think in other scenarios, other players could have stepped up and been better for UConn. But I do put a lot of that on Painter, and I thought out of halftime, man, once they got a couple alley-oops, I know we were texting about this, and then they also fell asleep on a Caravan screen where he cut in, and just the spacing and stuff, like the finding the open three, it was a beautiful offense to watch. In my opinion, I think I'm more with Scott too. I think they had to bring in some other players, like just one fucking shot creator, just one other shot creator. Do
you say that if Purdue wins? Like they got to the national championship. Did they need?
I understand that, but I think a lot of that still could have been path. They got NC State in the Final Four.
Yeah, and they beat,
I mean? Like
seed, they beat the 4 seed, they beat the 2 seed. They beat chalk to get there.
I hate overreacting to one game. Like I thought Purdue had the harder path to get there than UConn did. This is the first time UConn had played a 1 seed.
Yeah, Alabama's way better than NC State, though.
Yeah, but Tennessee's
way better than Illinois.
But yeah, like
are they?
I'm not pushing back.
Rick
on
Barnes
UConn.
in the tournament. Yeah, I think it's
Underwood in the tournament. We can go there.
That's
all
what
day.
I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's a fair comparison there. But I think Alabama's certainly better than
I think
NC
Tennessee
State.
was a borderline 1 seed all year this year. Illinois had a hot.
Yes, in the regular season, but Rick Barnes does it every year, so he's earned us to disrespect him in March, just like Underwood.
Yeah, but Barnes has a Final Four, and he got to the Elite Eight. Underwood's never sniffed.
He's also 72 years old. You know what I mean?
I mean, he had one of his best coaching
He's also
years
72. He's been to the NCAA tournament 27 times. It's not comparable.
If they play a 7-game series, I think if they play 7-game series, I think UConn wins 4-2.
I think it's a sweep. I think it's a sweep. I think Matt Painter can't coach.
If they play like they did tonight,
Look, I'm also not pinning this all on Matt Painter either. Like I'm bitter. I mean, I didn't hedge. It wasn't life-changing money. That's my opinion on it. So I wasn't going to hedge. So I had it all on Purdue. The way you've always beaten Purdue is if the guards don't make shots. That's what happened tonight. Danny Hurley didn't do anything, in my opinion, to keep that from happening. It just didn't happen. I don't know what Painter's supposed to do. The game plan worked for Purdue. I mean, literally the nightmare scenario that we all said was the front court gets in foul trouble for UConn. Samson Johnson had 4 fouls with 14 minutes to go in the second half, and he's the backup. And then Klingon picked up his 4th foul with 9 minutes to go. I bet Purdue live 12.5, and they lose by 15. To me, Hurley's done an amazing job building rosters, and he's got an amazing offense. Purdue's defense was never going to be able to really stop that. That was my whole hesitation about this entire matchup. The defense was not good enough tonight, and it wasn't going to be good enough, in my opinion.
Shout out to Cody Frazier, who gave us $20. Purdue loses this game 9 out of 10 times. He says, "Appreciate you, Cody. UConn is a superior." Yeah, I tend to think like you, Cody.
Game overreaction, but okay.
I mean, I just don't think Purdue is that good. I just don't.
2 years, 2 years where they were the second best team in the country.
It's the same as to me. You know what's a good comparison is the 2019 Virginia team. Is they won a national championship, but I never thought they were that good.
I mean,
they won a national championship.
I understand that, but they had a million breaks go their way, and like sometimes
they are a team that is not really good from coming from behind. But when they get the lead, like if Purdue had the lead, they would have choked UConn out because they would have kept throwing it down to Edey, and kept getting fouled. And they would have fouled out their whole team.
This is how good. This is what I mean. Is like I thought Purdue won the first half, but they didn't on the scoreboard. You know what I mean? Like I kind of thought like if you blindly watched that without the scoreboard, you would think Purdue's up like 2 or 4 and they're down 6 at halftime. I think that's.
I didn't think so because Lawyer had a trillion.
First half. I thought the rest of the team sucked ass.
Yeah, Lawyer didn't do anything. He had a foul in the first half, and that was the only stat recorded for Lawyer. And Lance Jones had 3 points and a rebound. Like that being from your guards. I mean, Colby's first statement from whenever he got on, just the UConn backcourt ate up the Purdue backcourt. That was the exact handicap that we had for the game.
And that goes back to my point of transfers.
So I don't.
They got 2 veteran
Lance
transfers.
Jones was a transfer.
He's not as good as those guys though.
So
you have money. You have resources.
Purdue is not like. They've been in one national championship in the last 40 years. They don't have a bag to drop on every guy. Like some other programs.
Get the fuck out of here. Their TV contract alone is way more than almost every team in college basketball outside of the SEC.
The other thing, I said this off air. Matt Painter's a loyal coach to a fault. Like,
I know that.
He's a player's coach.
I agree.
So
and I like him.
He
I like
brought
him
in
that
those
regard.
guys. They got a 1 seed for him last year. He was going to ride it back again. Like the only team they lost to in the non-conference last year was Fairleigh Dickinson. The only team they lost to in the non-conference this year was UConn. I'm not holding that against them. They were a great freaking team. UConn might as well. I mean, this team might have been historically great.
Agreed. That's my point on that UConn would win it every time, I think. But so, no, I mean, dude, I'm not saying Matt Painter, like,
how is Painter supposed to outcoach that?
Well, I just think you can bring in a little more athleticism. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I agree to disagree.
Yeah. Well, that's the best part about this.
I mean, also, guys like Tristan Newton made some fucking hard shots tonight too. Like Tristan Newton had not been making shots going in tonight. I mean, Tristan Newton made a floater over Zach Edey. He didn't even see the rim tonight. On that shot he made over Zach Edey, a couple of those threes he made. You give UConn credit. They were the best team this year. They were the best team tonight, best team in the tournament by far. But I disagree with the fact that Purdue would never beat them. I disagree with that.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree, man. I just don't think they have the athletes to do it. I don't think so. I just, I don't know. I wish I could. I would like to have seen Purdue win the game tonight because they've never had a national championship. It would have been cool to see that pressure put on Indiana. But I just think, I don't know how they could. I don't think they could. I think it's just like watching certain teams to me. And you're just like Zach Edey was the only player that was better. Every other player was just way better to me.
Well, I thought Kaufman was better than Caravan to start the game. I thought they should have thrown the ball to Kaufman more.
I agree there. That's what I'm saying. And I would push back on Noah's comment. Like I thought Danny Hurley completely outcoached Matt Painter tonight. I mean, some of that is you could say Painter didn't have the talent at the guard spot because you can only have your roster. But I still thought Danny Hurley, they played at a super fast pace. They played at a fast pace, like faster than normal. And that was one thing that we thought, you heard him talk about it. I think it was like the second time out when they go to Hurley after he was bitching. And he's like, yeah, we just got to keep playing at a fast pace. They can't keep up with it. And Purdue looked tired at the end, like 5-minute mark of the first half. Purdue even looked tired. I thought
that was the best adjustment Hurley made. He shut the fuck up in the second half.
Oh, thank God.
In the first half, he was all out of sorts. And honestly, they weren't.
Dude, he should coach Duke. He needs to coach
my
Duke.
God. They weren't
It's
getting
perfect.
a bad whistle. Like, I don't know what he was bitching about. It's like, have you not watched the first? If you think that's a foul, Edey, you should have watched the first 40 games. This is nothing compared to what he did at Michigan State and Rutgers.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best adjustment Hurley did in the second half. I don't know who talked to him and said, "Hey, man, shut the fuck up and fucking coach the team. We have him on the ropes if you just relax." But he didn't complain as much in the second half outside of 1 or 2 calls.
How about how many offensive rebounds UConn got?
That was a killer.
That was an absolute fucking killer, man.
Arabin and fucking Spencer. Spencer from the guard position killed him.
That's what I'm saying though, man. The portal gets like Spencer is a fucking beast in big games. Newton has proven to be a beast in big games. Back to his, I like to think it's what he learned in Greenville. But my point is I just think got to be a little more aggressive in the portal, in my opinion.
Who do they bring back next year?
Well, that's the thing. It's funny. Pat, shout out to Patty C. He's texting me.
Let's dive into the rosters after an ad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. Folks, I want to tell you that you are listening to the SGPN. This is the college basketball experience, and in honor of the Masters Week, get on over and subscribe to the Golf Gambling Podcast. The guys are giving away a free tailor-made Spider X putter. Enter for free sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. And attention, San Diego, California, the Whale's Vagina, Shot Stack of the Money, Green and Ride, Real Money Kramer are going to a special Circa Sports watch party starting Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. at Swing Social. Free drinks for everyone wearing Cubs or Padres gear. Grab a cocktail and say what's up to the guys and San Diego. Anyone in San Diego, you gotta get out there. All right. Yeah, I think he thought I was reading the main ads. So that when they give us this many as the pre-ads, it makes it all fucked up. But
I want to know UConn's first 10 games because I'm betting against him every single fucking game next year. Yes, they are going to be laying 30 every game next year.
I just did for you this year.
I did.
I did not see like that's like a fake. That's fake news narrative. I did not. I bet against him in the last 5 games and lost, but I bet on UConn a bunch this year. I remember laying like 20 against Seton Hall on Senior Day. They won by like 90. I bet on UConn a lot this year.
I just did Boston Sports Radio, and obviously, half of Boston is UConn fans, I think, or 80%. And they asked me, I think it was plus 1,300 to take UConn for a three-peat. Would I do it?
No.
And I said, if I was a UConn grad, I would, or if I was enrolled there, fuck it. And their odds were behind Duke and Carolina, and I was like, you know what? I trusted more than Duke and Carolina. I'll tell you that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, let's talk about this though. So Patty C sends me a text, is like, "Hey, Klingon, is he back next year?" And I go, "I highly doubt it."
No, he's a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I don't.
Not bad.
I mean, here's the one reason that I want to ask this question: is there any way that they go for a three-peat and that means something? Because that never really happens in college basketball. Not since fucking UCLA, right? So is there any way? Because that's essentially what he was asking me, and I said I highly fucking doubt it. I highly doubt it. But there's also the Danny Hurley to Kentucky talk, which is picking up steam. I'm not buying it, but if it happens, that'd be fucking hilarious. And then
say no after last night when I said no way, California.
Yeah. And then Patty C followed it up with Edey can use the COVID year. Could he come back? And that's one where I said, I know he said he wouldn't, but you tell me if a big NIL offer comes in, he wouldn't.
I thought he already used his COVID year.
No, I checked because he could come back next year.
Edey's got another year.
And Mason Gillis. If they wanted to, they could both come back.
Him and Caitlin Clark are going to start banging, and they're both going to come back. That's going to be the catch 22. Big Ten action. Edey,
if you're Zach Edey, why would you not come back though? You just went to the national championship. Next year, UConn's not going to look the same. Bieniek, this is to your credit on what you just said. this could be their chance to win the national championship. If they're, if UConn takes the hits, Tristan Newton can't come back. He's done with his fucking eligibility. I believe Cam Spencer is too, right? So and I want to say maybe one other guy on that team too. If you're Zach Edey, what are the odds we see Zach Edey back at Purdue next year, Matt?
I think they're better than
or
0.
Noah. Yeah.
I think they're better than 0. But I do think that, I mean, we just saw that on the women's side. Iowa went to the national championship in 2023. Caitlin Clark comes back when she could have gotten drafted, goes back to the national championship, and they get blown out, or not blown out, but they lose by double digits again. So it's like, is Edey down for another year of college? Like that's
a great point though. He doesn't get money.
Yeah, because he's foreign.
Yeah,
they need to do the old school SEC Canadian. And just drop a big old bag of meet in a parking garage and have someone just give you a big old fucking bag of cash.
If it hasn't already happened before.
I want to say one thing too in regards to NBA prospects. If Zach Edey can't play in the NBA, like some people are fucking saying, then there's something wrong with the NBA. That guy is good enough to play in the NBA. If that guy can't play in the modern day fucking NBA, then the fucking modern day NBA needs to change. The guy's 7'4". He can score over both shoulders. He can make free throws. There's no way that you can't put him on a roster. There's no way.
Well, yeah, and look, if the NBA needs to change, I've been saying the NBA's needed to change for a long fucking time, but that's an argument. But I get your point. I get your point.
I actually think Edey can shoot more than people realize too. I just think that he never shot.
He did airball a free throw tonight, though, which set the game back a little bit.
I was like, well, God damn it, you fucking son of a bitch. You're fucking making me look like a jackass. I said you could shoot and you airball a free throw, but he is a 75% free throw shooter.
He is. He's definitely a decent free throw shooter for his size. Yeah. I don't know. So Lance Jones is gone. We know he's out of eligibility, but Gillis and Edey could come back. You're right though. With that NIL shit, I don't think he will. Why not just go to fucking the NBA or Belgium or some shit and get $1 million? You know what I mean? Like, love how the Padres won. I just had the Padres.
Sorry, Noah. As much as I wanted Purdue to win tonight, they're not going to win a national championship. Like, this was their chance. They had to get this tonight. They had,
which means you had to go out and get a little more athletes. You have Zach Edey. You have Zach Edey.
But you also
got to the national championship. I don't think they needed anything more.
And they won't be back for another 50 years.
Well, they're also Purdue. They're also Purdue. Yeah. Like, I think we lose perspective that they're Purdue. It sucks. You want to see,
and the Big Ten drought continues.
Yeah, it does.
I don't. Hey, I said this last year.
I don't think on the Big Ten.
I said this last year. I don't think Purdue's going anywhere. They're going to bring back the same core. A new guy is just going to be factored in from the Matt Painter big guy factory, and Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Mason Gillis. They're going to go
out a 7'4" guy though.
They're not going to go win a national championship, but he's going to be top 4 in the Big Ten. It's not going to be quite to the ceiling.
That's fair.
This year, but Purdue's going to be back. It's not the end of the world.
I agree with that. Purdue will still always be competitive in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but it is the end of the world if you want a chance to win a championship like Purdue never has, because it's not going to happen again.
If Edey comes back, I mean,
that's it. But that's what I'm saying. It sucks that you can't get him the NIL. I'm telling you, Purdue's probably. They're the type of school that wouldn't have a bag man when they need a bag man right now. Shout out to Homie Tunes and says, love you guys. Your picks are legit as fuck. Let's get to the UFL season on. Oh yeah, it's free. Boom. Yeah. UFL. I am 6-1-1 in the 8 games. So I have only one loss.
Redskins.
Yeah. Let's go. Subscribe to the UFL gambling podcast that I host. But yeah, I mean, how good could UConn be next year is the question. Cause they're going to have the portal. And we saw how well he did with evaluating talent with Newton and Spencer. What's to say they can't go out and just load up?
He's comfortable now. He talks.
Does he take the Kentucky job? Does he take the Kentucky job?
No. He's not taking a Kentucky job. He's not taking there. I mean, why would he?
billions of dollars. No, millions. I'm sorry.
I mean,
not
he's going to use this leverage, and he's going to get 10 mil out of UConn in the end. I mean, with bonuses and all that, and he's going to keep his staff intact. Bill Murray's kid is his offensive coordinator. He's going to be a future head coach. Kamani, the defensive coordinator, he's as good as they come. He needs to bring back his son. I know we joke about his son's like record. He needs his son back in some role so that he can have the bridge between his psycho ass and the players. Like you gotta have Andrew Hurley to be the medium guy in that program.
Wasn't that awkward when Ernie said the last time you're gonna? I mean, it's not quite the last time he's gonna coach Andrew.
I know. I hope his son goes like Villanova.
Hey, shout out to Dave. I know Dave's a big UConn fan. He's invited us up to UConn. We've never taken him up on his offer. We're still gonna one day, Dave. I know you got to be happy. Back-to-back championships, and he says need Diarra and Caravan to come back. But he's got a point. He's got a point.
They're going to get Paulo from Arizona.
Dude, they could. They could. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch over the next couple of days. Don't forget, the season's ending. I know a lot of people are in there saying thank you. We appreciate Joe Flo and everyone in there saying thank you for providing the show, perhaps. Well, thank you for tuning in every night. You guys give us a fucking audience, and it's a lot of fun. But we love it. I think that's the thing. I mean, we love to gamble, but I think the core is we love college basketball, and I hope that shows. But through the offseason, we're still gonna be dropping episodes, talking coaching hires, talking transfer portal, talking conference races, all that shit. So buckle up. Oh, Dave's saying Golden from FAU. Wouldn't that be great if Bieniek thinks Michigan's getting him and UConn just swoops him up? Oh man. What else do you want to say, buddy? I know we got like it was. I love this season actually, man. I know someone was complaining about the lack of stars.
Hit another ad before you get to that part.
Yeah.
We
let's
can
talk about the lack of stars.
Year.
Yeah, let's do that.
Can't wait to give out all Big 12 teams. It's a new year, revenge year for the Big 12.
I want to tell you folks out there that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. Pick whether your favorite player will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. You can win up to 100 times the amount of money you enter in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick-up entry. Sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pickup special. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with that promo code TCESGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pickup special. We're also brought to you by Avo. Yes, we're proud to partner with Avo, the premier sports betting arbitrage tool. If you're new to arbitrage sports betting, it's very simple. Basically, you're betting both sides of a bet at 2 different sports books to lock in a profit. And the Avo tool scans the sports books looking for discrepancies in the odds and tells you how much money you need to place with each sports book and the expected profit. The tool is super easy to use and lightning fast as speed, is such a big part of arbitrage sports betting. So what are you doing, folks? And get this, the best part is Avo is free. It's completely free to use. No restrictions, nothing. Get started today at arbsversusodds.com. Once again, that's ARBS versus odds, ODDS.com. Hop on over there. All right, we are back on the college basketball experience. And yeah, I mean, look, I don't have a problem. Like, I know some people say like you need stars. I mean, to me, that's some TMZ shit. I don't need that. And what is Zach Edey? He's a fucking star. Right?
That's what I don't understand. Zach Edey, like, he's fucking Yao Ming Jr.
Why is he not a star? Well, it's like Ralph Sampson. Yeah.
Well, I have a better question. Who's the star on UConn? They don't have a one guy. They're a unit.
I mean, I would say Klingon. I mean, Klingon's a 7'3" freak. That's going to be a top 3 pick. I mean, that's not normal.
Yeah.
I think the whole this is what happens when women's basketball gets a little popular. Everybody starts saying you need stars. It's like shut the fuck up. Like Our
Look,
game
I'm glad the women's game's getting more popular. But just to let you know that when your championship game's on ABC and the other's on fucking True TV or TNT, whatever, you're not gonna have. It doesn't matter what you put on. You could put. I still want to shout out the women's game for growing because to me, we need basketball, women's, men's, baseball to rise up. I think that would help keep the conferences the same. The damage has kind of already been done though, with no more Pac-12 and shit. But with football dictating everything, I think we need other sports to make money so they have value. So football doesn't drive everything, even though I love football. So I'm glad to see those numbers, but I also think they're diluted. If people say, it's like, dude, if you put I don't know how CBS doesn't have the national championship every year. Putting it on TNT and TBS is fucking stupid, in my opinion.
Well, they should put it at 9:20 Eastern on TNT as well.
That too, but but dude, a lot of people, I know a lot of people don't check TNT. Like your lay fan, your lay person that might throw it on. I mean, I'll be honest. Sometimes, like an NHL game is on, or an MLB game, and I won't check TNT or something or TBS, and then I have no idea the game's on. I would have clicked on it, but I would have, but I didn't know it was there. So, yeah. But anyway, I don't know. College basketball, I think is great. I think it's entering like I know we've had 2 blowouts in a row in the national championship, but to me, it's still I think it's stronger than it was 10 years ago. College basketball.
This entire tournament kind of had some blowouts.
Yeah. Yeah. But still, I think the overall sport is stronger than it was 10 years ago. And a lot of that, I think just basketball as a sport stronger. Like it's more people are playing it is my point. Anyway, should we talk next year?
Let's talk next year, man. Who's playing for who?
Yeah, hard to do a futures when you have no idea who's going to be on the fucking roster. But I mean, Arkansas to win it all. I'm fucking around. I mean, I think that what comes to mind is what I know. Duke, if they bring everyone back, Duke's the odds-on favorites. Carolina second. Well, actually, on DK, UConn second, Carolina's third. Would tie with Kansas. 5th is Houston. Could it be Houston's year next year? How about that?
I hope so. I really do. But if Shed's not back, I don't think Shed's going to be back either. That's a hard guy to replace. Yeah. But I listened to Kelvin Sampson. Now, Kelvin Sampson did burn me this year when he got the Big 12 Media Days. He goes, "There's no way we're going to go 30-3 this year." He said, We're going to take it on the chin. We're going to take it on the chin coming to Big 12. And then they fucking come in and run the shit. I go, this fucking rat. He pulled what's my man for Air Force football? Calhoun.
Oh, Troy Calhoun.
Sampson fucking, he talked up the Big 12 so much, and then he just comes in and runs it. I go, this fucking bastard knew he had a great team.
Folks, what he's referring to is I was at Mountain West Media Day, and for some stupid reason, every school gets like 50 reporters in their face except Air Force, which is hilarious because Air Force wins like fucking 10 games every year. I was like one of the 3 fucking reporters that were interviewing Troy Calhoun. And actually, I think Troy Calhoun likes me a lot because of our option talk. But I'm still mad at Troy Calhoun because he told me there's no way we're going to be that good this year because the Mountain West is better. We're replacing the quarterback, replacing Brad Roberts, a running back, 1,000-yard running back. Zeke Daniels was elite passer, best passing quarterback I had. We're not there. This is a year of regression. And I'm taking all this down. And I go, I'm fading fucking Air Force. This is why I never want to meet the fucking players and coaches ever again. All right. At least Leach gave me like real intel. Troy Calhoun was fucking just sitting there fucking with me.
Well,
he was fucking with me.
Now you know why nobody was with Calhoun.
They know. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true. They're like, this guy.
Notorious.
He's and he did have I think he had some type of analogy to what was it? I don't want to say it was Guantanamo Bay. It was the Bay of Pigs. I think he had some analogy to where I was like, what are you talking about here? What are we talking about? But anyway, it's nothing worse than being fooled by that on media day,
I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought it, and then Kelvin reassured me, and then I watched Kelvin's team the first 10 games. I go, and they're actually pretty good. I don't think they're gonna win it, and no, they fucking ran away with it. I do worry about without Shed. Okay, you're gonna laugh at me. Watch out for Kansas next year, because last time Bill Self got blown out in the round of 32, they won the national championship. Last time he lost back-to-back round of 32s, they won the national championship. So I don't know what's going to happen with Dickinson. I would prefer he's not there if I was a Kansas fan. I think they got DeJuan Harris back. They got KJ Adams back. They got Mayo coming in from South Dakota State. They're going to add a couple more pieces. He's had plenty. Like you said, he's been thinking about it for a month, what he's going to do. And that's kind of a team a year after the year. They had all the hype this year with Dickinson and Timberlake coming in. I think Kansas is a team I'm going to watch out for in the preseason.
Next year is bonkers, though, man. We get all these fucking teams in the new conferences. Like, it happens for football first. But then when basketball, so Oregon, USC, UCLA, Washington, all in the Big Ten, Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC. The Big 12 gets Arizona State, Utah and Colorado. And then what the WCC gets Wazoo and Oregon State. That makes it a little deeper.
Ad.
Yeah.
That's good ads.
SMU, Stanford, Cal, the ACC. You know, I was thinking about this. Actually, what the fuck was I on? I was on some show where they asked me. What was I on? I was on some show where they asked me, is that going to strengthen the ACC or make it worse? And it's crazy. I actually think it strengthens it a little bit. Originally when this news happened, I was like, oh, it's even worse. But I was like, hey, Kyle Smith, I think is a good coach. He's going to have Stanford looking all right. And then I'm like, I like what Madsen's doing at Cal. And then for SMU to land Enfield and the amount of money they have, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this helps. I think the ACC it doesn't make any fucking sense, but it actually might help the basketball conference.
Stanford's also really, really good in the non-revenue sports. And I'm saying that in quotation marks because I'm going to include baseball for Stanford. The baseball program's legit. And also just, they are very good in Olympic sports. So Stanford is a definite upgrade athletically.
Honestly, I'm a tree hugger fan because of Smith. And I don't know if everybody saw his press conference with his son who's got autism.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not root for that guy?
Yeah, that was to me like I know cool. I know some Wazoo fans probably didn't know the backstory.
Yeah,
they were upset that he left. Just kind of like Jonathan Smith leaving Oregon State this year. I get it. They're at this crossroads where those schools are getting fucked over. But then when you find out that story. And the guy's spent a lot of years and he's familiar with that area. And then you add that to I wouldn't give a fuck, man. I would have left if it was Santa Clara and they told me, hey, we're going to hook up your son with, okay, let's go. Sorry, Washington State. You know what I mean? Like best wishes to Kyle Smith and his family and his son. But dude, I think Madsen's I don't know how they'll be next year, but I think the third year, I still think they'll be decent next year. The Cal, I thought was way better in year one than like any of the years with Mark Fox. And
completely agree.
And then you throw in SMU, who I thought was solid this year, but now you throw Enfield in there, and I know that they have crazy money.
Players.
Hey, it's gonna be
I think
weird.
Rice is going to be all right. Lanier, I think Lanier's not a bad coach.
Yeah,
I know he started this domino that ended up Calipari going from Kentucky to Arkansas, but Lanier actually did a great job at SMU this year, which is crazy.
Yeah. And then you add UMass. Well, no, that's the following basketball season. Following basketball season. So UMass still in the A-10 next year. It'll be fun to watch. Chicago State's in the NEC next year, right?
Yeah. I got a mid-major.
Long Island versus Chicago State? Sign me the fuck up. The fucking Sharks against my Cougs? Let's go. What are you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say, watch out for St. Louis with Schwartz.
Oh yeah.
When he brings all those guys from Indiana State over into the A-10, he's already rubbing the Billiken fucking belly in his press conference, talking about Rick Majerus, the good old days. Watch out for the Billikens next year.
Let's go.
They got a real coach now.
Back to the days of Erwin Claggett. It was any St. Louis fans out there know what the fuck I'm talking about. So we'll be back. Actually, we're gonna do another show right now. Apparently, Noah's forcing me to. We wanna just force feed this John Calipari to Arkansas stuff. So we're doing another episode.
We're gonna switch the mood up real quick, we're gonna shift right into offseason news immediately after this show.
Why not, folks? What are you doing with your night? Fuck off. Come to the other one. Let's talk a little SEC basketball. John Calipari going to Arkansas. Stay tuned. Check out that episode. All right. In the meantime, give Noah Bieniek a follow at NoahB77_. Moneyline Max on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. And remember, this is a double header. We're going right up next. Right up next. Like literally like a 1 minute. I'm going to piss and then we're recording. John Calipari to Arkansas. I've been drinking watching the national championship, folks. We're going to do that episode right now. So stay tuned. Check out the college basketball experience. You're 400 people in here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, youtube.com/the college experience. Let's go.
Also, we've got like 400 people in YouTube. It feels like 400 people that are asking for the We Believe song. I mean, we do have a guy that went to East Carolina that won the national championship.
That's the way I read it. Another ECU player wins another national championship and what MVP? Until next time, folks, this is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
We believe in the virus, in the spirit of ECU. We believe at this moment there was nothing that we couldn't do. We set out to defend our name, and now we'll never be the same. Never be the same. 'Cause we